Over the years, my wife has lived on farms, taught school, been a social worker, a mental health counselor, a professional photographer, managed the business side of my newspaper company, chaired a healthcare company that had 10 hospitals, written a guidebook on going to college, served on the national board of ACT, the testing company, and built a multi-million-dollar kids' baseball park with 6 World Series-sized diamonds. Oh, yes, she also raised 3 children, and now at 70, she calls herself a cool. What's that, I asked her the other day. What do you mean, a cool? Cool, she said, as in Chief Operating Officer for life, which she is for our family. Together, when we were raising this family and living in small towns where I own newspapers, we decided that rural life, which is where most of you all came from, I know, was great as long as we didn't let the sign that said city limits obscure our vision. And it was from a town of 7,000, Russellville, over in West Kentucky, that I left for Washington to direct the largest economic development agency in the country. First for the president who appointed me, Jimmy Carter, a Democrat, and then for his successor, Ronald Reagan, a Republican. It may surprise you, but what I discovered in Washington was that what I had learned in small communities like Columbia and Adair County was the key to success in the greatest power center in the world. Life was still a question of values, of integrity, getting along with people, setting honorable goals, and working hard to achieve them. On a good day, wasn't that what you were aware was at the core of the education you were receiving in college, at this college? I'll bet it was. And if you don't forget it, you'll do just fine. Thanks for inviting me to share in this great day, and best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Would you please join me? I'm pleased to present Al Smith to this. This one does work. We'll try again. Few Kentuckians have had greater impact on the Commonwealth over the last half-century than Al Smith, one of Kentucky's best-known journalists of the 20th century. Mr. Smith has made a difference in Kentucky through his work as a newspaper publisher and editor, broadcaster, public servant, and citizen activist. A native of Florida, Mr. Smith grew up in Tennessee. After serving in World War II, he attended Vanderbilt University, then moving to New Orleans to work as a daily newspaper reporter for 10 years. Mr. Smith came to Kentucky in 1958 to edit the Russellville News Democrat in Logan County. The paper later became part of Al Smith Communications, a chain of weekly newspapers that Mr. Smith led until he sold the company in 1985. In November 1974, Mr. Smith became the host of Comment on Kentucky, Kentucky Education Television's longest-running public affairs program and one of the most important programs in the history of Kentucky television. Mr. Smith hosted the program for the next 33 years, except for a brief period when he served on the Appalachian Regional Commission. During Mr. Smith's distinguished career service on Comment on Kentucky, he became one of Kentucky's most important statewide media experts. As one commentator recently said, Comment on Kentucky is where Kentucky's leaders, opinion makers, and informed citizens turn in order to see the curtain turn back and pull back from the headlines of the day and to better understand the intricacies of public policy. From 1979 to 1982, Mr. Smith was federal co-chair of the Appalachian Regional Commission. He was elected to the inaugural class of the Kentucky Journalism Hall of Fame in 1981, and for 7 years he hosted a daily radio talk show, Prime Line, on a 30-station network. Mr. Smith is one of the founders of Leadership Kentucky and has headed several other statewide groups, including the Kentucky Press Association, the state's arts and oral history programs, a Governor's Council on Education Reform, and the Shakertown Roundtable. Other civic work has included service on the boards of the Council of Higher Education, the Governor's Scholar, the University Press of Kentucky Foundation, Shakertown at Pleasant Hill, and membership in 2 school support groups, the Pritchard Committee for Academic Excellence and Forward in the Fifth. Mr. Smith's wife, Martha Helen, the mother of their 3 grown children, has had her own career as a teacher, social worker, business owner, and educational consultant. For his service to the Commonwealth of Kentucky and his contributions to the profession of journalism, the Lindsey Wilson College faculty and the Board of Trustees honor Al Smith with a Doctor of Letters for all of his work and honors.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, sir. Yep. Thank you very much. All right. Oh.
Now, President Lucky and honored graduates, we come to the most important part of the celebration, the conferring of degrees and awarding of diplomas to our graduating class. Parents and friends are welcome to come forward to the area in front of the platform to take pictures. Please note that I will only call the names of those graduates who are in attendance, and I would ask that the audience hold applause until all the graduates in each group all those diplomas are conferred. Will the candidates who have completed requirements for the degree Associate in Arts please rise? President Lucky, may I present the candidates who, in the judgment of the faculty of Lindsey Wilson College and as certified by the Board of Trustees, have successfully completed all requirements for the Associate in Arts degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the Lindsey Wilson College Board of Trustees, and upon recommendation by the Lindsey Wilson faculty, I hereby confer upon you the Associate of Arts with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. You may now change your tassels, and please be seated.